How's it going, everyone? I hope you're all doing good. Welcome back to another video. I've been doing some drawing in the sketchbook lately, and I've been posting all of the real-time drawing footage onto the Patreon page. It seemed like you all enjoyed the last video that I made in which I was doing some drawing and talking to you. I can't remember what I was talking about now, but I enjoy making content like this where I can do some drawing in the sketchbook and talk to you about anything. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's grab the sketchbook and do some drawing. I thought that I could give you all some general tips when it comes to drawing in pencil today whilst I produce a drawing. And you know, one tip right off the bat is before you even start drawing, before you put pencil to paper, it's worthwhile to look for some good reference images depending on what it is you want to draw. And having images up on screen in front of you whilst you are drawing is really helpful, whether you are drawing from imagination or directly from the reference image itself. I think today I'm going to draw from one of my own photos again. I like this one that I had taken when I went to Japan. I spent a lot of time walking around Tokyo, and if you haven't realised already, I made sure to take plenty of photos to use in my drawings. Now, I typically have reference images up on screen in front of me as I draw, and if like me you are drawing in pencil, another useful tip is to make that reference image black and white. That way you'll be able to look at an image in grayscale and you'll be able to get a better idea of the tones and shades you'll need to reproduce when it comes to drawing it. So in this case, I am drawing from an existing image today, but at times you'll often see me draw from my imagination. The issue for me is figuring out what I want to draw. Normally, ideas will start to come to me as I begin drawing. I always find that you can often get stuck in this rut where you can't think of something to draw, but I find that the solution is to put pencil to paper and just start drawing anything without thinking about it too much or questioning why you are drawing it. Just start drawing and for me at least, ideas start to come to me and all of a sudden I start thinking, oh, this would be a good idea, or it would be good to include this, or maybe I should draw this. In fact, I often get ideas for other drawings as I am creating a drawing, so whenever you find yourself in a good rhythm and ideas are coming to you, you need to make sure to capture them and write them down. Now, a lot of you will know that I mostly draw using this mechanical pencil. Now, I used to use a set of standard pencils, but eventually decided that I'd rather stick to just this one tool. For me, it's the convenience of not having to sharpen it all the time, and because I'm using some 2B lead, I'm still able to produce a wide range of tones and shades. If you are using a standard pencil, however, it's important to keep it sharp. There's nothing worse than drawing with a blunt pencil, especially if you are trying to be accurate and precise when drawing. I think that's why using a mechanical pencil appeals to me, because I can be very accurate, but I guess it really comes down to personal preference. I mean, other pencils are likely better to use for shading, for example, and other things, but again, make sure to keep your pencils sharp. Now, going back to what I was saying about me using some 2B lead in this mechanical pencil, you'll often find that a full set of pencils come with different grades. There's a set behind me there. I've made a full video explaining pencil grades in depth, so if you're unsure what 2B, 4H, 6B, all of those mean, then be sure to watch that video. Through experience drawing in pencil, you'll get a better idea of what pencil is right for which situation. If you want to produce some darker tones, then you'll want to use a soft pencil like a 6B for instance, and on the opposite end, if you want to produce some lighter tones, then you might want to use some harder pencils. But overall, the best way to control the gradient and the tones you can produce is to alter the pressure you apply with your pencil. This is something I do by habit now. I alter the pressure I apply to produce different shades, and that's one way in which you can control a pencil. Now, another means of controlling the pencil is how you move it on the page, and this is how you can produce different textures. You've probably seen me draw many things throughout the videos that I've made on this channel, and so a lot of the time I'm tasked with creating different textures for varying materials. Like in the last video when I was drawing the wall near this house, I was making circular motions with the pencil to create the appropriate texture. I've also made some videos showing you how to produce different textures step by step in pencil, and all of those require you to move the pencil in different ways. Again, this is something that's somewhat automatic for me now. I can look at something and I know how to go about drawing it. And this comes with experience. You'll gradually become more familiar with the tool you are drawing with and start to understand how to approach drawing something. That's why I say one of the best ways to get better at drawing is simply to draw more. Draw as much and as many things as you can. One piece of equipment that can assist in creating interesting textures is an eraser. I use this Mono Zero Tombow eraser, and whilst it's great for accurately erasing mistakes, it's also really useful for creating textures. I'm able to make highlights and lighten the drawing if needed. Anyways, this drawing is slowly coming together. I'm drawing this at a fairly small scale as well, so I'm having to cram in a lot of detail. Again though, that's why it's important to be working with a sharp pencil, as it lets you create finer lines. Also, I want to talk about the paper in this sketchbook because I find it to be good to draw on. This is a moleskin sketchbook, by the way, and I'm slowly trying to fill the pages with my drawings, but these are good quality. The paper is similar to cartridge paper, but it doesn't have a texture to it which I prefer. It's a similar experience to drawing on Bristol board, being a rather smooth surface, but these pages aren't white, they have more of a yellow tint to them. The website describes them as ivory coloured. I think that pencil drawings look great on this paper though. It would also be good for pen and watercolour if that's what you like using. There's like 100 or so pages in this sketchbook, so that's a lot of drawing that I'm going to have to do. There's also a section at the front that gives you an option to put your name and address. I suppose it says, in case of loss, please return to, and you can leave a dollar amount and as a reward for someone returning it back to you. But I suppose this will increase in value the more it gets filled with drawings. But that's another thing to consider, because the paper you draw on will also contribute to the quality of your drawings. I mentioned it earlier, but Bristol board is probably the highest quality paper you can use to draw on. It's more like card, but then there's also cartridge paper, which, as I said, can sometimes have a texture to it which I personally try to avoid, just because I prefer drawing on a smoother surface. And then there's printer paper, the cheaper option, which, I mean, I still draw on printer paper when I'm creating smaller drawings for the tutorials I make. And I don't think it's that bad. If you're going to be spending hours on a drawing and producing something more complete though, then yeah, I'd use some better quality paper, but overall, you can create good drawings on anything if you can draw, right? Anyways, I've made a lot of progress with this drawing now, and I had a lot of fun drawing this one. So there we go, another drawing done in the sketchbook. I'm happy with how this one turned out. At this rate though, I'm probably going to have to go back to Japan to take some more photos. I've drawn so many of them now, but I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, then please leave a like. With that being said, keep on drawing, and I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the content I create, then do consider becoming a patron on Patreon. You will gain access to exclusive tutorials, study documents, process papers, real-time drawing footage and more. Plus, you will also be supporting me in a more personal way. Other than that, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.